Hello and welcome to our live Q&A for the Gasparilla Festival of Arts 51st festival. And we are here today with Greg Presson.
Right.
And thank you, Greg, for joining us. Just to start off, my name is Megan Farrell-Scalise. I am a local Tampa-based artist and was the festival image winner for last year, their 50th. So let's get started, Greg.
Okay, sounds good.
Please introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Greg Presson. I'm a photographer. I actually live in Dade City, and so I'm a local artist as well, and graduated from USF with a fine arts degree. And so I actually do a lot of photo collages right now, and mostly landscapes and architecture.
Wonderful. Well, I believe we have a video to show. So we'll go ahead and play that first and then get into our questions.
Fantastic.
Showing how I kind of set this up, keep overlapping the pictures. So it takes a while to actually go through and put all the pictures out from the different angles that I shot. Time to build up the image to get the collage kind of set up, and so I'll continue to work on it like this until I can get the whole image formed up, and I'll show you the finished product here. Okay, so we're back here. I've laid out probably about half of the pictures, probably 100 pictures or so here. So I kind of start looking at the main focus of our three courses, and so we want to get like the best pictures of the horses. A few that I still need to look at and make sure they will fit first. But then I still need to start focusing on the roof. Make sure the roof is set up correctly. So once I have that done, I'll come back and look at actually the grass right here again. So there's this curving that they have here, this barn seat. So I'll make sure that this all fits in correctly. You can see a little piece here and there out doesn't fit in. So now you have to go back and rebuild it. The pulling piece, maybe keep messing with it. And so you'll see a change where you actually will come in and straighten everything up. So they'll match up. Once you start gluing the pieces up, you can actually really get a better, so it's actually centered up better on the picture. It takes a while working on it to make it look more real. So I'll continue to build the image, different things, and so then I'll find out where I'm at. And I like it. Sometimes I actually assemble a bunch of pictures like this, and I can the whole thing didn't work out. Or maybe I was missing the section that I didn't shoe in your photo. So that version will have a missing shot. So I'm going to show you that here next. Let's take a quick break and we'll switch over and show you this shot, and then we'll jump back to this piece. Okay, so like I was explaining earlier, with our piece, I'm going to kind of set it up to make sure so I don't assemble something. I always keep this in the primary. I shot this 2 years ago, and you can see I totally missed shooting this tree right here at University of Tampa. And so, so this is a lot of it. I had to reassemble it, see if it actually worked as a reassemble it, and find out actually it was the picture there. So this is a lot of so we make sure that I actually go back and reset here. Okay, so the collage that's been completed, and so I used probably about 200 pictures. It took me probably a lot longer than I thought. A little more complicated collage with wood grain and stuff. Probably took me about 4 or 5 hours to put together. And so if you remember, we looked at the barns, kind of set up the horses, and we kind of printed these in 4x6 pictures. And so this will probably be about a 40-inch by maybe 30-inch framed piece in the end. And so I hope you enjoyed the presentation for art. And if you need to contact me, you can go to the website and find my email address and phone number. Thanks for watching.
Greg, that video is amazing. Thank you for sharing the process with everyone.
Thank you.
So I have so many questions for you.
Okay.
I love your unique style and take on how to do photography. But we're going to start off with asking you, how long have you been participating in the Gasparilla Festival of Arts?
So this year is my first year. So my first year I'm at this show. This is actually only my second actual art show. And so last year before the pandemic, I actually was at the Brooksville show and did that show. And so believe it or not, it's only second show, which is crazy.
That is amazing. Well, your work is wonderful, so it definitely deserves to be in our juried show. So that is quite the accomplishment to be your second festival.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What inspired you to become an artist? And when did you decide to make it your career?
So, early on, my mom probably inspired me the most. We had a ceramic shop long time ago, and so we would paint ceramics all the time, and we'd have different people come in our garage and actually do ornaments or different types of tchotchkes type of things. And so I painted so many ceramics for when I was a young kid, and so I guess I just kind of took to doing the painting and enjoying that. And so then I started drawing. My grandmother really kind of just said, hey, keep doodling and keep drawing. And so I did, my whole life I kind of doodle and draw. But when I got to USF, I actually was a business major, and I took an intro to art history by Margaret Miller, and totally changed me. Like I was like, I'm doing art now. Like I really want to get an art degree and kind of work on all different types of mediums. And, so I really thought that was a big event in my life. And so, but I actually don't do art really for a living. I actually work another job in Tampa. And so I got to be about 50 and I said, hey, my kids are out of the house. I want to get back to my art. And so that's what kind of got me back into photography. And so kind of that's where I'm at now. So I'm only about 3 years back in the swing of things.
That's wonderful. In the past year, how do you think your photography has been affected from this pandemic? Like, how has it influenced your work?
Yeah, so the pandemic for me is, for a photographer and doing landscapes, my travel was limited to almost nil. And so I really didn't get out as much as I would love to. And so I actually was able to kind of go back and look at some old photos that I shot. And so I actually found a couple of stacks of old photos that I actually shot of Raymond James Stadium, not the stadium behind me, but actually Raymond James. And there's a picture on the event of Gasparilla that you can go look at. But I actually just put this together. And so I was like, wow, you know, so I started digging through more and found a couple old collages that I hadn't actually put together, which was kind of cool, that I shot, you know, probably, you know, 18 years ago and stuff, some of these collages, which are good. But, you know, another thing is I started experimenting because most of my collages are 4x6 photos, smaller photos, easier to assemble. You know, you don't have to have such a big space, but I started experimenting and I got all the way up to 11x14 photos. And so there's one picture that I put together not too long ago from the St. Pete Beach, and it's virtually 4 feet by 6 feet. And so I'm not sure where that's going to be hung on somebody's behind somebody's couch or whatnot, but you know, that kind of got me experimenting with different things. And so now I'm actually working on some sort of installation that I'm going to do that's going to be probably unframed type of piece, but it'll probably be more like a mural, like it will be 10 feet by 6 feet wide and stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see once I start kind of messing with that to change what I'm doing now. And so and
I
see
love that idea. And I think the public will love that, having that installation piece that they can go and visit and have it larger than life, right?
Exactly, because you get to see all the details when they're bigger pictures. You know, I'm using a pretty good camera, and so when you blow these photos up, you actually are seeing so many more details in my photos than you would with a 4x6 photo.
Well, since you did mention your event page, let's go ahead and take the opportunity to visit it and
Okay.
kind of show everybody. And as we scroll up, so as we bring up the event me page, let's have you talk to the viewers, through it a little bit.
Sure.
Maybe pick a few of the pieces and share the story behind of why they were photographed, and, you know, or what's your favorite?
Yeah, so let's start with the UT one because it's in Tampa. You know, it's if we can get to, there we go. Not the first one. Keep going, scrolling down a little bit more. It's in the Jur area. Keep going. I think it's keep. I got a lot of pieces on there. You know, I haven't been able to sell things lately. Right there. There you go. Reflections at University of Tampa. And so if you want to click on that, and it'll bring it up a little bit bigger, everybody can see. So went down to UT one morning real early, walked around and probably shot 4 or 6 different photo collages. It's amazing now with digital, you can shoot as many digital photographs as you want. And so this piece really stood out to me because if you look at the pool there behind the statue, you can kind of see the reflection of UT in it. And so I also had to eliminate some of the newer buildings. If you can kind of see where the gap is, that is actually where some of the newer buildings that I actually didn't want to have in the shot. And so I was able to kind of manipulate it enough. But if you go down there and stand there, you'll see that exact same image at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning. And so, you know, you just start working on building the image up, and hopefully you find something good. You know, I put together many images and I'm like, that's not really great or whatnot. So I really enjoyed this image.
That's a great explanation. I love it as well. Just real quick, in your opinion, what is gained from working in the collage over just printing a photograph?
You know, sometimes you get when you develop these pictures, they develop different and they leave different kind of colors and stuff like that. And so if you go back, when you go back and look at the UT one, you see how the exposure might be a little bit different. And so it kind of changes a little bit of the picture. And so some areas you might be drawing into where a regular flat picture, you may not see everything. And so I really like breaking it up as well and seeing that. And so, and also, like I said, it eliminated a piece in that. Like if you take a picture of UT right there, you would have seen the whole UT buildings and everything like that. And so you can scroll through more of my pieces and kind of see how the collages may, be straight, or because it has more of a horizon line, or others will be where you'll have different things where they'll be spread out a little bit more. And so come down here on this cactus one right here, there'll be a big cactus on this cactus at Red Rock Canyon. You can see I actually wanted to capture the cactus as well as the mountain in the background. And that's really hard to do when you're taking a regular shot, unless you're using a large format to get all the details. You actually have to focus in on the cactus as well as going back and focus on the canyon using two different focal points, and then put it all together and make sure it blends. So there's some neat ones. The one that if you can scroll all the way down, I really loved, I wish people could see in person. It's one of my favorite that I love to talk about when people come over, is the unknown soldier right here. That this gravestone was swallowed up. It's an unknown soldier at this Myrtle Hill Cemetery in Rome, Georgia. And so you can actually see all of, on the right side of the picture, you can actually see all the unknown soldier gravestones. But this tree somewhere in the early 1900s started growing and swallowed up two of the gravestones. And so this one's barely sticking out. And so if you zoom all the way in, you'll see it just says right on the edge of that. And so it's hard to see on the digital. You can't expand it any more than that. But when you look at it and you look up that close, because that's a 4 foot by 4 foot piece, you can see the bark and you can see where the stone enters the tree and stuff. And it really is an amazing piece. One of my favorite pieces.
That is super special. Yeah, you can't, just to even know the story behind how the tree has grown over the gravestones, and that they're still peeking through, and they're still a part of it. A beautiful, beautiful shot. Thank you.
Thank you.
On average, how many of the 4x6 photos are you using in a final image?
So looking at that tree, I think I shot, I went back and looked at it. I think I shot about 700 pictures for that tree piece. And so I'll print all 700. And so then I'll keep overlapping and keep working the image. And maybe I'll use, I think in that tree piece, I used about 450 pictures. And so, yeah, they get really big really quick. And so, especially if you zoom in to get all that detail. But on some of the bigger pieces, if you saw that big 4x6 piece, that one probably uses about 150 11x14 photos. And so much different experience, and it can get really big quick.
It's such a unique idea that you make them into collages. If we haven't talked about it yet, how'd you come up with this idea?
So there's a British artist, David Hockney, who actually does photo collages. So if you go look him up, I believe he's in his 80s now, and he used to do photo collages. So when I was at USF, we had something that we did, a similar type of exercise. And so then it inspired me to kind of work on that. And so then somebody mentioned, and I don't know if it was a teacher or who, this artist. And so I bought his book and looked at his stuff, and he actually does it more with a cubist feel to it, where he'll show multiple expressions on somebody's face. And I was like, oh, I really like that, but I also want to do more realistic. And so I've done them both ways. And so mostly as I like to look at as a realistic place that you actually can go to. The beach scene is incredible. You can look at your wall and you go, man, I wish it was there, right there. It looks like that's where I would sit all the time, and I relax at the beach and, just kind of get pulled into my picture.
Being a Florida native myself, it is intriguing to see such a uniquely captured take on these well-known natural landmarks. Do you have a favorite place you like to photograph?
Oh, UT is right up there. I've probably have about 5 or 6 UT shots that I really, really like. I think there's two in this show. I've sold a couple others. Love to go there. Love going hiking. Like I said, we went down to Maca State Park. There's 3 pictures that I took in there in the that I went there not too long ago, and we just did some hiking and stuff. And so, this, when you walk out in nature, some areas just speak to you. And as a photographer, I just go, whoa, like that looks like it could be a cool piece. Let me see if I can kind of start taking pictures around that, and then just start, looking where the shadows are, where I'm at, where I'm, what's the background and stuff like that. And so right now that I'm actually getting ready to go back down to shoot that again, because you can actually go. It's an hour away from Tampa. They've got huge gators you can shoot, take pictures of. I mean, it's pretty neat. It's a pretty neat location.
That's awesome. I'm gonna read one of our chat questions right now.
Shoot.
What is some of the equipment do you use, and also do you attach the photos on canvas or a mounting board?
Okay. So yeah, I actually mount them on a foam core before I frame it, and then as you can see kind of behind me, this one's mounted right on flat on mat board. But now I actually have the picture on most of these pictures that you see that for sale actually come off of the actual mat board, so it kind of stands out. And so you can use anything. You could go do a photo collage using a point and shoot type of a disposable camera and shoot 24 pictures of some image, go develop it and put your own little photo collage together. It's a really simple process. I use a Nikon. I've always used Nikons. And so depending on if I can't get close enough, I need zoom lenses and stuff like that. But on the basic, you could use any type of camera as long as you can turn off the auto zoom. You have to be able to, because you don't want to have it auto zooming to every little spot that you're taking a picture of. You want to zoom into the location of where you're shooting and then turn the auto zoom off into manual, and then it'll actually capture all the stuff so it won't be out of focus.
Thank you. That was great. Now, just because it is our festival location, could you talk a little bit about your one piece that is the photograph of Julian B. Lane Park, the process that you took with it, your step-by-step, why you took a picture of the park?
So last year was the first year I applied to Gasparilla and I didn't get in. And so, I was bummed out about it. And so I tried to get into the emerging artist and I didn't get into that as well. And so they had, hey, let's see what we can design for a shirt, as you may know. And so I go, hey, I'm going to just give it a shot. I actually went back down to Tampa and it was walking around down there and it just captured me. And so, with the new Riverwalk here on the right side of the shot, you see the bridge and then the Julian B. Lane. I thought, what would be a great a great shot that somebody could put on a shirt for an image or whatnot. And so anyway, I didn't win that either, but I really enjoyed this because it's really early in the morning. And so if you could zoom in or see this in person, right behind the big sculpture down here, you can just see the people starting to bring out their crew boats that they're getting ready to crew on the Hillsborough River right here. And so it's really a cool piece, a part of the piece that really talks to me. And so, you see them carrying out these huge crew canoes and bringing them out to the river to get to practice on. And so it's probably about 150 pieces or so, but really neat piece.
Thank you. That one obviously is a special piece for a lot of the people volunteering today and have been a part of Gasparilla Festival of Arts. What makes you choose whether the piece should be, the final image is in black and white or color?
Yeah, and so, when I'm looking at it on my computer, I download the photos onto a computer and I start looking at it. And so then I start playing around. I'm like, do I like this piece in color or do I like it in black and white? And so I like a lot of working in color. A lot of people don't really appreciate color photography as much as black and white photography. And so I kind of just play with it. And so early on, I was doing a lot of color photos, and now I've been changing and using the black and white, the sepia for the UT ones. The black and white and the sepia ones look like more old Florida to me, and so that kind of inspires me a lot. Is being photographing old Florida and stuff like that. And so when you capture something with them black and white, you really don't know the time when that occurred. And so, but it just depends. I really like beach scenes in color because I love the blue water, but I also like them in black and white because the sand and the different, palm trees and stuff look great in black and white.
Wonderful. So we only have a few more minutes left with you.
Okay.
And so one of the last questions I like to ask is, do you have any wisdom you would like to share with aspiring artists?
Perfect. So for me, I'm an old inspiring artist. And so for young inspiring artists, I'd say go out and try things. Like, if you think you want to doodle and draw, go out and draw. Go out and paint. You can easily find supplies to go out and do that type of stuff like that, or get a disposable camera or get a really cheap camera and go out and shoot. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. Like I wasn't a very good drawer when I went to USF, and I was taught techniques and stuff, and so I became much better drawer in the end. And so now with YouTube, you can go watch videos and stuff and see how people teach techniques on this. And so I would go out and tell people to go try different things that they're not used to and go look at ways and techniques. But if you're a photographer, I would give you advice, shoot more. When you're looking through your lens, look at your backgrounds. Make sure you look at your, what's in your background. If you're shooting something, there might be something that you don't want in your picture. Or if you're kind of shooting something, you might not see the shadow on the tree or something. You might have to move around. So don't shoot in the same spot. Go move around in a couple different locations. Shoot more than, especially with digital. You can shoot hundreds and hundreds of pictures and just delete them later. You never know what you'll get. You may get a surprise in there.
That was perfect. Perfect. One last question I think we have time for is, how do you think us having a virtual festival and supports the artists and impacts our local community?
Yeah, I love, that Gasparilla came back and had, they're canceling the show, and I get invited to the show, and then they cancel it and they go, oh, it's going to be virtual. And I go, what's virtual? What are we going to do? And I bet you, 200 or so of the artists that are on the virtual show right now are like the same thing as me. What's virtual? Like, how are we going to do this? And so, it taught us all how to be virtual. And so this hopefully will give us a bigger audience for people in Tampa Bay. The store's open for 3 weeks. Maybe you were busy today or tomorrow and didn't have time to come down here. And so now you have, 3 weeks ago, look at all these different stores. I still haven't finished going through all the different artists. I've looked at probably 150 of the artists, and these incredible works, like incredible. And so go out and look at them. You may find something you like, and you may find some ceramic piece that I'm looking at for $120 and I'm getting ready to buy. And so I'm glad they offered it to be virtual, because I think it definitely helps community see that there are a lot of artists in Tampa, and it inspires others.
Perfect. Thank you, Greg Presson, for being with us today. I'm Megan Scalise, and you have been watching the Q&A session for Gasparilla Festival of Arts. Thank you so much, Greg. Have a great day.
You too. See you later.